Isn't that a big, beautiful housing complex? Hey, good day, everybody, from Denver, Colorado. The first nice day we've had after some pretty cold weather, cold and snowy weather. We've had colder. But at any rate, I was on my way to go see the progress of the micro community here right across the way, but we've got the team over here. So let's find out what's going on. They're sitting in their cars right now, doing nothing. So let's see what they're gonna do. I'm always most curious, with these impromptu sweeps. Oh, I guess it's time to go. I guess we don't have any resources to offer, do we? Yeah, we're out of here. Since we can't do enforcement off camera. Hey, did they offer you guys any resources? No? Did they get out of their car? Hey, I'm here for you. Oh, that's why I'm here recording. So I'm just curious what they told you. You guys need hand warmers? Did they offer anybody resources out here? No? That's kind of what I figured. So this dude over here says he doesn't want anything because all they do is tell them if they don't move, they're going to jail. Yep, and that's the truth. So but I guess they decided not to get out of the car. Probably waiting for the cops. So they can tell people move along or else. Alright, well, let's get those hand warmers because we've got one more night of near freezing temps, but my car just got totally turned inside out, upside down. I just got back from taking somebody to the hospital, 2 people. So through this cold snap, we did pretty good out here, if I would say so myself, in making sure that there weren't people out here. Literally, this is my last batch. And I want to do a shout out to the individual, Derek, who sent us some hand warmers to replenish, because as of right now, I'm out. After these, I'm out. So, yeah, it's been a rough few days, you guys. Nobody was prepared for that first cold snap. And that's why it was so concerning. It didn't get as cold as they said it was going to, so we got lucky there. But that's just tip of the iceberg, right? So 2 days. So we ended up putting 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 people in Motel. Thank you to all of you and everyone that has donated. That was $900 for 3 days. Full transparency. We went through about 700 or so hand warmers. Hey, did you need some hand warmers? Was that you that spoke up? Yeah. Here you go, hon. I'm not trying to make any problems with you guys. I'm going to apologize because there's people that come out and but do you want to have warrants? He's not saying. She stole from me and she's been I'm Elsie. Nice to meet you. Sorry for the annoyance of the beeping door, you guys. My apologies. You're welcome. It's cool. I get it. I totally get it. There's always somebody that at least knows me. There might be some people that take care. All right. So yeah, I figured if I waited that out, somebody was going to step up that knew me. I wasn't all sure who was in there, but yeah, several of them know me. And she's over here apologizing for her man. It's all good, but you know, they're defensive and I understand why. So anyway, how is everybody today? Keeping the swine in line. How are ya? Bokomo, thank you very much. Give a fuck, send a buck. Yeah, we are like, all emergency funds are depleted. So, that we don't have another cold snap, because it's not going to work out good to be able to go find those people and get them where they need to go. Granted, yes, Denver did open emergency shelter, so there is that, but here's the problem with emergency shelter in freezing temperatures. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then they kick them out. So then they're all outside in a snowstorm. I'm not entirely sure if this round they brought buses back to pick those people up to take them to day shelter or not. I never heard if that happened, but they opened the Coliseum, which is our, big Coliseum where we have the stock show and all that. and they just put mats on the floor, and people go in there, you know, so they don't die outside. That's really the only thing Denver's trying to prevent. They're not like really trying to do much more than that. So that's great. Government's still in charge of who lives and dies, regardless of the effort. So then they put them back out, and that's clear across downtown, on the other side of downtown Denver, which is a long way from here, out in southwest Denver, especially when you're on foot, especially when you don't have any type of transportation or bus passes. So it would be up to me to put people in my car and take them to the Coliseum. That's not the most ideal thing to do. And have them wander around during the day, because none of these people can really utilize shelter unless it's in an emergency situation. So for me, you know, there's a vulnerability priority list that I've got to follow as a very tiny, small nonprofit. So I know who my people are out here that I need to keep an eye on, and go find them, like our friend Phil and a few others that need the shelter. So that's why we did that, and we're fresh out of emergency shelter funds. So there is that. So yes, if you can give, please. All the ways to give to the nonprofit are in the About section. And Bokomo, I'm sure, is continuing to put the link here. I don't know what is up with this chat, but I can't even see. What is this all about? YouTube has changed so much shit, I can't even keep up with it. Irish Rover, there you are. I can't see you. Papa Chuck, how are you? Thanks for popping in. Once my battery dies, it'll stop. Sorry about that. I know that was annoying. I tried to get the thing to stop, but my car is acting up between the freaking push start and the remote. So yeah, my battery probably will die here pretty soon, and I'm sure the cold didn't help. Razor, how are you today from Texas? Did Shelly get housing? Not yet, but it's coming. There was a little delay in the process because not only is Shelly going to get housing, so is her brother. So we're going to house them together. So that literally stopped the whole process and started it over. As far as I know, Shelly and Gino found shelter. They did not reach out to me. They both have multiple ways to reach out to me. They did not. So assumably, they rarely ever ask me for anything, and are always pretty much okay until the cops, you know, of course, show up and steal their home. But I think they were able to find some shelter for a couple of nights. I believe they're doing okay. Yeah, Papa Chuck, the key fob battery, yeah, let me tell you about that. I've replaced it multiple times. I think I need a whole new key fob. You know, those things are super cheap and really easy to get a hold of. Okay, let's take a drive. The reason I was coming this direction was to go check out the progress on the micro community. Remember, this is Johnston's plan to house 1,000 people by the end of the year. This is going to be potentially these single sleeping units, 120 of them on the CDOT lot. Many of you that have followed me for a while are familiar with the CDOT lot. It's got a lot of history there. That was my first arrest in holding out with Cowboy, who had been tired of being swept, which, for those of you following Cowboy's story, he's since passed away. Those of you that are following the Adams County story on the handling of his death, for the first time ever, we got a response from Monica, the coroner over there. Not we, Destiny, Steve's sweet daughter, who is his next of kin, has been trying since shortly after his death to get some answers. We've been getting nothing but a runaround. I go to public comment last week. I end up at the coroner's office. They call the cops on me, say that I'm making threats. Not true. I called Brighton PD to have them investigate this false reporting that I was making threats. They said, oh no, it's no big deal. It was just a YouTuber that called, and nobody has to take any accountability for calling for police response to a scene where a person is making threats at a coroner's office. It's no big deal. Yeah. So yeah, that's the whole story there. But Destiny asked the coroner if she could at the very least schedule an appointment with the doctor that did the autopsy, Dr. Cena. Certainly Dr. Cena has no problem verifying his work. Still can't figure out why there's claim of him having end-stage COPD. I'm not a doctor, he is. He should be the one explaining it. Destiny feels the same. And Monica wrote back, and her first sentence was, I am sorry about the loss of your father. Her last sentence is, we are done talking to you. Yep. So I'm going to publish that email so everybody can see it. I did get Destiny's consent to do that. And I'll be doing that. I'll make that post on my community tab here after a bit. But she goes on to chastise Destiny in the content of the email and told her, well, you don't trust us and we don't need to prove anything to you. She also put some more lies in writing that we've tried repeatedly to communicate with you. More lies. So as I said, from top to bottom, the Adams County Coroner's Office is ran by what I describe as a dumb little group of high school bitches who never got validation from the boys in high school. So they've taken their Mean Girls Club and found their way to end up in office and have all this power and control to be a bunch of bitches. Not only are they a bunch of bitches, they're also fabricating legal documents, making claim in the official autopsy report that Destiny provided them with medical information and her father's doctor. It's all a lie. Every bit of it's a lie. So we're going to continue to fight. Unfortunately, I couldn't get back out there this morning to make public comment out in Adams County. Of course, Destiny can't make public comment because Adams County, even though they got through COVID with all their virtual meetings, they've got absolutely no way for anyone to participate in their weekly county commissioner public comment section unless you show up in person. So yeah, Destiny lives many hours away. She works full time, and she certainly is willing to take a break at work and give her 3-minute testimony in Adams County, but no can do. We can't accommodate you virtually or over the phone for public comment here in Adams County, because then we might have to hear you. And us people up here on the throne really don't want to fucking hear from you. Okay? We're tired of you fucking peasants. You put us here. That means you put us on a throne. We have control over you now. Now get the fuck away. Yeah. We know how that goes. So this is a really, really bad situation with getting answers about Cowboy. Is any of this going to bring him back? Absolutely not. And what else did Monica tell Destiny? After Destiny specifically said, I cannot afford to get an independent autopsy. I would like an appointment with the doctor. That bitch turned around and told her, if you don't like what we have to say, go get your own autopsy. Well, Monica, here's all the links for you. Why don't you go ahead and donate that $3,000, you stupid bitch, and we will gladly take your specimens of Cowboy after you've lied about everything, and then we'll see if we can get an independent autopsy done. Yeah, seriously, that's where we're at with it. So I filed a complaint, if you will, with the Attorney General. I did receive a response today, and I'm glad, because in the past I've received no responses. The two other times that I've tried to file complaints with the AG since he took office, pretty much wholly worthless. But the AG has only so much authority. I get all that. I understand. And he can investigate of their legal rights. And I'm glad they... That's good. So there is a pattern over in Adams County. And to boot, the sheriff's office isn't offering any response to answer on why they botched the death investigation, to include having a deputy alter her report with no supplemental, to include not reviewing any video camera footage from the motel, to essentially showing up after this responding deputy said that this death looked suspicious. She called for additional investigators from the homicide unit that showed up, said, yep, everything looks great, see you later. So, filed a complaint back in July on that. No response until a couple of weeks ago. And I was told that we would be getting a call from homicide to answer these questions that we have. Yeah, no call. We're 2 weeks down the road on that since I was told that. So I have to keep going back and plugging in where I can. But in the meantime, this morning I had to make sure that all my friends got checked out of the motel and that they all had hand warmers and a warm breakfast. So this cold snap, a rough estimate, about $1,300 went into the 3 days to help X amount of people in the motel. What'd I say, 8 or 9 of them? Whatever it was. And then hundreds of hand warmers out here on the streets, and extra food, extra volunteer support. Sal, shits and giggles. Hats off to that guy. Boy, he really comes through in a pinch. Much appreciated, my friend. So, this may buffer in here. This is a bad area for buffering. So if I buffer, just stick with me. I just want to come over here and observe this. Looks like they're doing some surveying of the land. No real construction. They've put up green stuff on the fencing so you can't see in. Let's go check that out. Things are a little bit of a muddy mess right now. But what I'm most curious about is if City Council approved the $6 million this week for the little pallet shelters, because as of last week they had not. So I don't know if there's anybody in this stream. I don't know if you're in here, Mariana. Sometimes you are, but you've been super busy cooking too. I'm most curious where we're at with the contract for the pallet shelters. Huh. White Wolf, Reagan, please send a bill to the city of Denver. Let's see what happens. It won't even be recognized. They don't give a shit. They want to partner with people. They say they do, but they don't. Right? They want to only partner with people if they can control you. So here we are. The infamous cul-de-sac. We're right here at the entrance of this cul-de-sac. That's where Cowboy was in his tent. I was over there by those trucks. They arrested me and took Cowboy to a motel. Yeah, so they put up all the green stuff so you can't see in. All visitors must check in at the office. Well, I'm not going in the site. So they got a bunch of barricades over here. Those aren't here. They're working down there at the end of the field. All these neighbors are super pissed off. We don't need to help the homeless. Let them die. I don't know what to make of this. I have no idea how it's going to go. But if they're not going to give me any spots in here for people that are actually chronic homeless down here that may want to be in one of these, they're going to make people jump through hoops. They're going to pick and choose. It's just going to be a shit show. I can't even wait to see how that goes. So yeah, this is it. I guess nothing's really going on. I think we're up in the high 40s right now, so that's good. But yeah, I've always thought when they were telling the RVs that were parked on this property, this is CDOT property, by the way, Colorado Department of Transportation, and CDOT would always tell me, oh yeah, we're turning this into a solar farm. So nobody can be here. Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to be the temporary fencing or the permanent fencing, but the whole area is supposed to have a secure entrance and be all fenced and yada yada yada. So, but it's November and no micro community has opened yet. So today they're busy sweeping people downtown. Per usual. It's my understanding that some people got into a motel. That some, only some. Did we buffer in there or are we good? Yeah, CDOT, the morons. Yeah, everybody has one. Everybody has a dot. An M dot, an A dot, a C dot, a P dot, an A dot, a C dot. Not to be confused with California. Rochelle, my friend, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. I hope you're doing well, my friend. You remember the cul-de-sac very well, don't you? Yes, you do. You remember all of these stories over here in the cul-de-sac, don't you? You've heard me say in the past, when the cops are threatening to arrest me over here, when the cops are over here kicking people out of here all the time, even though it was like organized chaos and clean, and we had bathrooms, and we were taking care of trash. Get out of here. Move along. You can't be here. Well, here we are, 3 years later. A new mayor in Denver says, you know what? That is a perfect piece of property. So there is that for a start. But how it's all going to go down, the nuts and bolts of it all is what is so questionable. And the amount of money, $6 million for 120 pallet shelters? Yeah. What? For a permanent, for a temporary into permanent housing, we're going to go ahead and dump $6 million into these structures this big. Yeah, for 120. And in that contract, apparently there were a few other bigger structures, like an office, you know, they're going to order a trailer, and like a community room. But other than that, it's not like there's any plumbing, none of that, right? $6 million. And it's some company out of state. They're going to have them delivered and shipped. So that, that shipping's probably what? $2 million. You're getting maybe $1 million, maybe, not even $1 million in material for 120 pallet shelters, built literally, from my understanding, on a pallet. So you can pick it up, drop it. It's going to have a unit for heating and cooling, a piece of wood in it for a bed, and a desk. $6 million? Yeah, so I could kind of see why maybe City Council voted that down. Maybe there was some intelligent conversation and responses to that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I wouldn't have been on City Council going, yeah, this makes sense. No, I wouldn't have. Of course, I probably would never make sense of anything if I was sitting on City Council. Which, by the way, City Council voted last night to take another huge chunk out of the general fund, which takes them below the standard governmental financing practices and depletes their general fund under 15%. They're taking their general fund down to 14%. This is like unheard of. On revenue projections, right? So this is what's going to happen in Denver now. And this is for rental assistance, eviction assistance. I never even heard the word foreclosure assistance being mentioned in this $30+ million that they're going to put into rental assistance next year. They're expecting a historical amount of evictions, which are already occurring. Homelessness is increasing. This hasn't passed yet. They passed an amendment last night for an additional $17 million to put into this, to make this total like $30 million or $14 million, something, whatever. The bottom line is they're taking their general fund below this 15% cushion. So what's going to happen in Denver now is you're going to see all this enforcement cracking down times 10. Just like all this right-of-way shit, street sweeping tickets. Government could move money all over the place. Government will always find a way to stick you for more money. So get ready, because Denver, if they pass this next week for the total package, they passed their amendment last night to increase it. Denver's going to become exceptionally aggressive because they're not gonna cut spending where they don't need it. I heard one great comment from a city councilor that said, we spend millions on, advertising and making these things and doing digital stuff here and doing all this when we really don't need to do that. Right? That was the only thing out of a city council person's mouth last night that even resembled, yeah, we should cut our spending. Government doesn't cut spending, people. They figure out a way to stick it to you, and they're gonna do it. So shut the fuck up and pay more. And especially when government never gets it right with the resources, definitely still keep your mouth shut and just pay more. That's what people do. That's what they want government for. So, anyway, that's the scoop for today. Does anybody have any questions? Is this a spot where the guy threw a fit about the porta potty? Yes, it is, Joan. It sure is. Thanks, Rochelle. Hey, happy Halloween, everybody. I should have put my Halloween shirt on today. I have a cute spider pumpkin shirt, but I actually forgot that it was Halloween this morning. Should be dressing up, shouldn't we? What am I doing for Halloween? You're looking at it. I have to go run some more errands. So what's transpired over the last 3 days? We put people in hotels. We made sure they had food. We made sure lots of people had hand warmers. A very generous person by the name of Derek, I'm not going to mention his last name, sent us more hand warmers. You guys, we need more hand warmers. So if you do not want to give financially, please go buy a box of hand warmers. Does somebody have the wish list on here? If not, please go to the About section. We have an Amazon gift wish list for things that we need, and hand warmers are it right now. So I need 50 more boxes of hand warmers before the next storm. So I can also continue to have them in other advocates' cars. So when they're in other areas of town, they have those hand warmers in these cold snaps where frostbite is real. We need hand warmers, pretty please. We need to replenish the emergency shelter fund and get ready for the next cold snap. That's all I'm doing this year for outreach. We're going to focus. I already announced this. We're going to make a shift over for when people do get into these micro community things and other housing, like Shelly and her brother, who are going to need things as they are walked into their housing with nothing. So yeah, we are going to do that. So those are our goals for this winter. So however you choose to plug in and support, that's much appreciated. But there are no big paychecks coming off of YouTube, everybody. So don't think that Reagan's over here for clicks and views. She just wants to make money off YouTube, because it ain't happening. So it's all dependent on donors who want to give from their heart and soul. So thank you very much. I'm sorry, did I take your space? I'll move. And these construction guys would like me to get out of the way, so I will do that. See, if the cops were equally as nice and, like, you know, get out of your vehicle and a little wave and a smile, I might show you the same common courtesy. Did anybody see that last live stream when I got out of the car and I walked up to that cop? Don't talk to me. Oh, really? You don't want me to talk to you? That was dumb. So you do want me to talk to you. I don't know what is up with this chat, but I can barely see the writing. It's all white and it goes across the whole screen. What is this all about, YouTube? Last year I was doing a block party. Was I at this time for Halloween? That's right, we were. Last year on this day, Halloween, we went over into this neighborhood because this guy had put this girl on next door. This young lady, not a girl, young lady. Keziah, for those of you that have been following me. And I'll give you a little update on Keziah too. Keziah is still out here on the streets. And Keziah continues to be determined to do for herself. She does not want family's help. She does not want to go back to family. She's suffered immensely, needlessly, but she asks me for nothing except from time to time. Regan, I need help with mail. I got this job. I need help with mail. Of course I'll help her with mail. She's never asked me for another thing. That is one very interesting case. But at any rate, about maybe 3 or 4 days prior to Halloween last year, I'm perusing next door, and I see this guy taking pictures of this young black woman and posting her all over next door, saying this guy is living across the street from my house and I'm not safe and I can't get my mail and I need the cops to do something about it. And I called them and they came out here and told me they couldn't do anything about it and blah, blah, blah. So when I saw that post, I immediately went there because as he was posting it, he was making it sound as it was in real time. And I wanted to verify. And it was. And I go out there and there's another man talking to Keziah, an older man, who was clearly in his own vehicle. I didn't know who was who, or even who had made the post. But the guy did end up putting a picture of his house in the post. So I figured out that this was the person calling on her. She was literally parked across the street in her minivan with her dog. She had been doing delivery in her vehicle, and her vehicle broke down and needed all kinds of repair that she couldn't afford. So she quit doing that job and then went and got herself a job at Whole Foods in this particular area. And then Whole Foods, as she was working there and staying in her van in the parking lot, it was a big shopping center parking lot, staying in the van with her dog, told her that she could not work there and live in her van. Well, she tried to stand up for herself, and I'm not entirely sure what happened. I did see some body cam footage of the cops using force on her inside the Whole Foods, DPD District 3. She essentially was in a mental health crisis, trying to survive, and they took her to jail and took her dog to the pound. These are intense stories, you guys. So Keziah had a little bit of money from her last paycheck and spent every last dime getting her dog. She got somebody to tow her van over to this neighborhood. So she thought she was hiding. Well, she wasn't. That neighbor immediately called the cops on her, and when he didn't get the result he wanted from the cops, he blasted her all over next door. I found all this out later. But back to this particular day when I went out there to meet her and see what was going on. There was an older guy talking to her. I was standing back. I was recording. I was concerned. I didn't know if this was going to be violent, if they were being confrontational with her, if I was going to be in a confrontation. So, of course, I'm recording. And she sees me, and I, said, hey, I'm here for you. And, oh, okay, he's helping me. Okay, I'll just watch. And, well, this random stranger, whoever he was, really wasn't doing a very good deed. I don't know why he was doing what he was doing. He never did talk. He pretty much got in his car and split when he saw the camera. But what he was doing was calling her a tow truck. And she was happy with that because this neighbor kept harassing her. And he kept coming out and literally getting in her face. She called the police for help. The police did nothing, of course, right? They don't mind. They don't mind the homeless being harassed. That's no big deal. She even had video of it. And showed the officers. They're like, no, sorry, see you later. Peacekeepers. So they had left her in that neighborhood with no resources, no help, no nothing. So ultimately, she's happy that this stranger has called her a tow truck. So this tow truck shows up, and I get out of the car, and mind you, it's nowhere in this area. It is east. It's somewhere I don't go. It's almost right on the border of Aurora. I won't go unless there's a specific call for help, and that's why I ended up out there, because I saw it on Nextdoor. I said, honey, where are you having this towed? Well, he said he'd only pay for X amount of miles, so I think I'll just have it towed to this shopping center down here. Well, lo and behold, she has it towed into Aurora. So this shopping center is right in Aurora. Luckily, they pretty much left her alone. But because nobody could give her resources, and we put her in Motel, all of us, we did put her in Motel because she did tell me that she wanted to try to reconnect with family. Luckily, she gave me her family's information, and I still have it, and we communicate from time to time. But she did have a very concerned grandma who desperately wanted to bring her back to, I believe it was North Carolina or Florida. She had options with family that she could go with, and she absolutely would not do it. And in the middle of that, she, of course, wasn't getting treatment. When she left family and ended up out here in Colorado, she had been receiving treatment, but not out here. So it put her into a pretty bad state of mind. And she pretty much separated herself from me. And, but she's reached back out from time to time. And I saw her one time since probably, February. I spent a lot of time with her in the weeks after. I took her out to lunch, made sure, that she knew that I could be a connection. But I, of course, could not buy her a new vehicle. I was very, very hopeful that me and the family could continue to work on these things. And we tried and we tried and we tried. Okay? But this woman is an adult. And if she's not hurting anyone or herself, we don't use force on people, unlike the cops, right? So leave her alone unless she's asking for help, right? Well, that's what I've done. And I think she's doing okay. And I did just text with her and help her with some mail stuff a couple weeks ago. So, Keziah, if you watch and you're listening, I hope you're okay. And I hope she was okay through this cold snap. So, yeah, that's going down memory lane with Keziah. Starla, how are you? Rochelle, thanks for being in here, hon. It's really nice to see you. Yeah, one last push. Give a fuck, send a buck, or go into the About section of the channel and copy and paste that Amazon wish list if we don't have anybody in here to post it. Pokemo, do you have a chance to post the wish list in here? We're really desperate for hand warmers. Somebody already sent us a start for a replenishment. His name is Derek, and I thank him very much. Okay, so I got some stuff I got to take care of. I'm gonna call it a day on here unless we need to go live again for whatever reason. But Brandon, how are you? Thanks for popping in. That's okay, Bokemo, if you didn't get it in here. It is in the About section, but it's Helping Hands for Dignity Coalition. You use Amazon. Help us replenish, please. And we have to replenish the emergency shelter fund as well for the rest of the winter, because we want to be able to do that for folks in these situations. We probably, I'm glad we did it this round. I probably didn't need to do it for 3 days, but it still gave some people some reprieve, and I know some of them desperately needed some rest and a shower. So at the very least, we were able to do that for those folks. So you guys, thank you very much for being in here. King Charles, hey, good to see you. And yeah, YouTube is changing so much. Cowboy Strong, thank you, Starla. Good to see you. Thanks for being in here. Happy Halloween. I can't wait to see that baby granddaughter of yours in her cute little costume tonight, Starla. I got a preview last night. Destiny sent me some pictures, so way cool. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Take care.